Hello and welcome to GAWZITUP. Today we're going to be working on a 2004 Rancher. This little Honda has been a good little running machine for the past several years. However, the carburetor's starting to act up on it. We've ordered a brand new one. As you can see, this one comes with everything. We got to hook up the throttle cable and all the lines and the electrical connection, so shouldn't be that bad of a job, but we've never done it before, so we're going to check it out and see how hard it is to do. So follow along as we do that. We'll first start off by taking off the seat. We remove the seat here, which ain't too bad of a job. You can see there's a little bit of trail mud on here. This four-wheeler has been ridden in near the Hatfield-McCoy trails in southern West Virginia and eastern Kentucky. I don't know how much you know about that trail system, but it's pretty fun. There's a lot of people come from all over the country to ride the Hatfield-McCoy trail system. As we got the seat off, you can see here, we'll be taking off the air cleaner next. Air cleaner shouldn't be too bad to remove. It's remove one clamp and just pull it off. Lay it over here on the bench. We'll have to remove each of these body panels on both sides. I don't know if we have to, but we're probably going to make it a little bit easier. Alright, as you can see, we just got the whole front body panels off of it. This is the gas tank cover, and covers the side, so we'll continue to get the air box off of here now and get closer to that carburetor. We're not far from changing it out. Okay, so here's with the gas tank cover and everything off. We still have the air box in it. We're going to work to take that out next, but there's the carburetor. Here's what we're going to change. You can see we still got a little more hookup. Here's where it hooks into the bolts into the engine. Actually, it clamps on there and then clamps onto the air box, but we've got the body panels off. We're going to continue to work. Here's what we've been going after, is this carburetor here. Now we have several things to unhook on it. First of all, we got to get my hands out of the way, get an angle where you can see it here. We have this line to unhook. We have the fuel line here to unhook. While we've got it shut off, we still got a little bit of fuel leaking out there on it. We've got a couple electrical connections here we have to take loose. Alright, now what we've took off so far, we've took off our throttle adjustment. We've unwired, unhooked this connection and this connection. Of course, we've took our clamp off, we've took our hose off the box. We've took the hose off of this here, took off the air cleaner, and we're getting ready to pull it out. Hopefully we've not left anything else undone. We've actually took two lines loose in this. I took the breather line and then the fuel line here. Right here, took it loose from the other side. So we do have to take the throttle cable loose. Let's see if we can get a picture of it. It comes right in here to the side, so that'll be the next thing we have to take off, but kind of thinking it'll probably be easier to take off after we get it somewhat loose here. So let's loosen it up, pull it back, and see if we can get it out. All right, as you can see, we've got the old carburetor out, and yeah, it's had some miles on it. I think this 4-wheeler's got a little over 2,200 miles. Again, it's a 2004 model, so it's about 16 years old, and this is the original carburetor on it. So really didn't have any issues with it. This 4-wheeler set for about a year and a half and didn't get run with that ethanol fuel in it, and that was enough to cause it to stop up. And took the bowl off of it, cleaned it out, and it ran, but never did quite run right, exactly the way it should have. It was always seemed like it was just a little bit out of adjustment. While we did put a lot of miles on it after that, but it's time to put a new one on. So here's the new one. Let's lay them up beside each other here and see what we have to do to change this out. Make sure everything looks the same. Far, so good. All right, so here's the old carburetor, as we were saying. What looks like it's going to be one of the more difficult tasks on this is right here is where the choke cable goes in. And it's got a needle that goes down in there. Here's the new one. All right, so it's got that with the spring, and the end here goes over top of this, and then the cable joins up onto this. So what we have to do is we've got to get the old one. They're different sizes, so there's no way to reuse that. We don't want to reuse it, but you know, there's a little, see if I can get this camera to focus in here. There's the end on the cable that the spring has to push back off of the, and then that separates. Then we have to take the hose loose up there and pull everything off. So that'll take just a minute to do here, but not it's just tight. That cable's tight. It don't want to release a whole lot. So we've pushed it down all there. We'll look see if there's any adjustment on it, but we'll get that here in just a few minutes. So all right, we've got the new one set up. We've got the choke position on it, ready to put the new one on. The next thing we're going to be working on is hooking our throttle cable back up. Now, it has a barrel connection with the cable that goes up and around through here. We do have a little bit of adjustment right here on the top where it screws back in, so we'll get that correct. While we've got this off, before we start putting it back on, we're going to go ahead and change out the little bracket here on our idle adjustment. So we'll go ahead and pop that off and change it over, and then we'll start putting it back in. All right, we now have everything prepped on the new carburetor. At the end on here, we have got the side plate laid over here in place for us as we get started, and we'll probably do another time lapse here and watch it go back in place. All right, so let's look where we're at this point. We've got the carburetor back on, got the air cleaner on. We have everything's back in place. It's all hooked up. Got our electrical connections on both of those, as we looked at earlier. Now all we have to do is put our plastic back on. I'll show you what we had to do here on the back. If you've seen the in behind here, let me grab a light so you can see. All right. On the side here, we had this tank here that comes out the back of the air filter, and over here on the back had to come off in order to get it out. It goes right back in. Let's see here. Connects right down here to the back of the box. See that clamp there? Goes at the back of the air cleaner there. That wasn't bad. We got it put back on. We've got our tanks here, our breather system coming out of there, fresh air. That took a little bit. Those rubber connections there's kind of hard to hook up. That may have been one of the harder things that we did. We've got our throttle adjustment back in. Let's see what it sounds like. We've went this far before we actually put the plastic back on. Let's start it up and see what it sounds like. Oh, that was without even choking. Started right up. Okay, this is sounding good. All right, let's get the plastic back on and go from here. All right, as you can see, we've got it put back together. We went from start to finish on this rancher and started up again. We started up a few minutes ago, but let's check it out here. This was no choke. I can't wait to get this thing out on the trail. It is, we'll try to get a video of that before we finish this out and show you exactly what it's looking like. But man, this thing is running good. So I hope you've enjoyed the video today. This thing, it ain't been anything hard. Anybody with any kind of mechanical abilities could have done this. Wasn't that time consuming. It was an enjoyable afternoon project. So, and we've got our four-wheeler back up and in shape, and it's been fun. Hope you've enjoyed it. Do me a favor. Comment below on this. Tell me what I could have done differently. I told you when I started, this is the first time I ever changed a complete carburetor out. We cleaned it a few times, but never changed one out on a rancher. So comment, tell me what I could have done different. Please like, share, and follow our videos. And tune back in next time. Let's see what we're getting into next week. So thank you very much.